Right.
Cool. All right, let me share again.
1 sec. Okay, go ahead.
All right. All right. Can you guys see my screen okay?
Yes.
All right. So the way that we're currently pulling our reports is through a transaction report for payment breakdown to show each individual transaction. There's 3 different date ranges that you can use. The most accurate and the best practice is to use date entered in payment. Unfortunately for us, they always have log date entered in. So what I end up having to do, if I want a full date range just to make sure that there's no payments missed, like they were logged earlier, is I'll go back a year or more. I'll go back to when we first started just for complete accuracy and do January 1st for log date. And then payment date, I will, let's go. Let's do since the start of this quarter. And another filter that needs to be applied is the status needs to be open. There are closed accounts that are associated with portfolios that were paid off and we closed because of that. So open status, portfolio, any main, and then this also might be an issue that you're running into. There's also sub portfolios. So given the instance with Dave Harper, let's use him as a good instance. So he has his Dave Harper personal and Dave Harper IRA. So that's why we have the sub portfolios as well. So let's just do his regular one. And then we do search. And I don't know if this is part of the API, but it might be a good thing to have in there. In that report I showed you, I have 2 separate columns for interest. One is the total interest, which the investor's not receiving. The other one is the 10% interest with our 2% service fee taken off. And that's what they would be receiving. So in this payment breakdown, the interest in the summary shouldn't be this number. It should be the 10% column summed up. And yeah, so we're able to, right now, how we do is we export, right? We do an Excel data dump, and then we format it to make it look pretty. Give me 1 second. My laptop's about to die. And so, yeah, so that's how we're getting it currently. Those are the only things that we're putting into filter right now. So in the search or in the display, the reporting display, the logged in investor should have I think just like the quarter displayed. No, I think the full year is good. The full year is good. What we're trying to avoid is confusion, right? So the confusion that they might have with a full year's display is that that's what they think they're going to get paid this quarter. So I think probably displaying every quarter, and then once we get into a new quarter, it displays a new quarter, and then behind that they have an option to search based off of a date range. So we don't have to pre-select that for them. They can select a date range for themselves. So if they wanted to see what this full year has been like, they would put in January 1st to today's date. And then that would be for them. I think that would be the best method, or what would be the most effective. And then displaying as a default what their quarter is. And that also helps us because then we can that's what we need to report every single quarter. Yeah, I'm just trying to think what the best way to do it is. I think that's the best. Yeah. So every quarter, and then after quarter end, um, yeah, after quarter end, then it's a new
New
quarter
question.
starts.
So a quick question from my side.
Yeah.
So let's suppose like we are in June, then definitely like we can show like this quarter from May to April to June, we won't have problem. But let's say we are in July, so are we going to show last quarter or the current quarter, like which hasn't properly started yet?
So you would be displaying from April 1st to now.
Okay, yeah, sounds good then.
And you can actually put like forward dates, so you could
Mhm.
you could put all the way to end of June, which would be end
Yeah.
quarter, and it'll still
Mhm.
run.
Okay.
So it could be fixed amounts. So if it's in this date range, then it displays these range of dates. And it'll update automatically as every day goes by in that quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, when they log in first, I think we will just show the summary,
Okay.
and all the filters will be there, and whatever he wants to see, maybe I'm just thinking like, let's say there's an option for this year or the time period you can choose from here to here.
Mhm.
So that when they log in, immediately they see is the summary. What are the fees, the interest for the this quarter, principal, of course, and the escrow and whatever we want to show. So this page will be the first page they will see. So whatever they want to see, that will be they have to choose the filter. So
Okay.
that they will, they want to see whole thing, they can choose the date range from start to end, or they want to see 1 month. Because most of the time, I think when they log in, they want to see, okay, this quarter, how much interest I'm getting paid,
Yeah.
and what's the principal I still have invested
Yeah.
on this one.
Yeah.
There is a principal interest, yeah. So I think that might be like a quick visual for them to see once they log in.
Okay.
And if they want to go deeper, then they can choose the filters.
Yeah, I think that's perfect.
Right? Because when they log in, I don't think so. They need to see which one's the latest payment. Uh, I'm just thinking about like they just wanted to see the immediate thing is like, okay, let's say the investor log in every 3 months to see, okay, what's interest gonna be payment this month, or like last quarter, how much I earn and how much I'm getting paid on my day, because investor will not log in every day to
Yeah.
look at, okay, what's going on, because this is not like every day kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So, and if they say, okay, when is my last payment done, then they can go through the filter, and they can choose the filter, see, okay, last this year, how much, what are my payment, or it's on time, or delayed, or there's a charges or whatever they want to see, that will
Yep.
be all in filter.
Yep. Yeah, that's perfect. I think
Yeah.
that'll be perfect. There's one other thing too that is specific to people that are enrolled in MFS Main. Their all the payments in MFS Main, they don't go to each investor, right? So they've invested a certain amount that we need to display what their interest is every month. So using a really simple example, let's say if someone's invested $1 million into MFS Main, we need to show that they're making they're making 10% for the whole year. So 10% divided by 12 would be their payment that they make. So every quarter they make 25,000. So we need to have that split up into monthly payments and also displayed in their summary and that we need to set up what that amount that they have that invested in and be able to edit that too. But it should be a really simple equation, right? So it's just whatever the interest rate is, and monthly payments of that interest rate on whatever the invested balance is. And if we're able to, it would be great if we're able to adjust that because people are investing more or people are taking out some or whatever the case may be. And then that also applies to their summary would be great. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So for the investor who invests in a main fund, they don't need to see all the transaction.
No, they should have access to it through the search.
Because because the main might have the whole fund might have invested in 100 properties.
Yeah.
Right? Let's say, one guy has $1 million, another has a $500,000, another has a 50,000. And that is invested in, let's say, 20 properties. So is that all the transaction paid has to have access to all three investors? Or just their part is like, okay, this much interest you are earning, like the summary, this much your part of principal is still left. If you want to add more, then you can add more. I mean, when they add more, it will increase, of course, as an principal and also interest. And do they need to have all this transaction detail for all that 20 properties?
Yeah. Our reporting requirements make us display all of the payment transactions as part of the report. So they do need access to it, but I see where there might be an issue or confusion because it's going to be displayed with all the rest of their payments in their report. So it's going to be really messy and they won't know which is which and the display is going to be all messed up.
So other thing I was, it just come to my mind that let's say the main invested, again, back to the same process, the main fund invested in 20 properties. And if we show them every single payment for everything on a one page, it will be a little mess and they might not be understanding what is where.
Yeah.
So other part I was thinking is, let's say he invested $1 million in main fund, and we can display on, let's say on the left-hand side or somewhere, okay, this main fund, you have $1 million invested in 20 properties, and which properties transaction you want to see.
Yeah.
And the investors select one property, let's say property number 1, and then only he will see the transaction detail of that property. Instead of like all the properties in one page, he will just see one property, all the transaction. If you choose another property, another transaction, so it'll be clean for them also. Like, okay, this property never had a late payment. This property might have 1 or 2 late payment. this property is doing really good. This property is almost down payment. You
Yeah.
know, those kind of stuff. So it's not like a combined report.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a one report. You choose left side. Okay, you will have 20 properties, $1 million investment, different property. You just click on or choose the property, and it will display all the transaction of that properties.
Okay. Okay. I think, sorry. I think that yes, we're on the right path, but I don't even think that they need that much filtering.
Yeah.
I think that if we just filter by portfolios,
Mm-hmm.
so when they're doing their report or they're going past the summary
Mm-hmm.
and want to look at more, then they filter on what they have access to for reports. So say Dave Harper
Mm-hmm.
has also, he doesn't have access to MFS Main, but let's say he does for this. So he'll have access to Dave Harper IRA, and
Mm-hmm.
then MFS Main. With those, he can do a date range looking at Dave Harper only, date
Mhm.
range looking at Dave Harper IRA only, and then date range looking at MFS Main only.
So when we go MFS main,
Mhm.
then we'll have a lot of properties.
Which is fine because
Okay.
we're already sharing that with them now.
Yeah.
And the point is to show all of them to them. And that's what our minimum requirement is. I
Okay.
actually don't want to make it more confusing for them where they have to look at each individual property in MFS Main in order to
Mhm.
see how it's like performing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, me, I would like that, but these guys don't really care.
Yeah. I think
Um,
like I say, I think they only care the summary.
yeah, exactly.
How much money I'm making, if I'm making money or not, and how much I'm getting paid next quarter.
Yeah.
And do they have an option to reinvest that money back to the same, like let's say $1 million, he on 10%, a month, and let's say 100,000 he's making. Does he have a reinvestment on the same or not taking out money?
Yes, they do have an option to do that. None of them currently are doing it because they're all retired and this is like they live off of it.
Sure.
Um, but they definitely do have the option to do that. And we do the reinvestment manually currently.
Yeah.
Um,
That of course that's a loan pro part is not a reporting part, but I'm just asking
yeah.
because it's when if you go back to the summary, if they reinvested, uh, can you go back up a little bit to the
Yep.
summary? So when you see it's like okay, principal, it might go up the principal every month instead of principal is going down because he or she will be reinvesting that money.
Yeah. So the MFS, yeah, no, I see what you're saying. And the individual accounts,
Yeah.
the ones that are like Dave Harper and stuff,
Hmm.
those ones they're also receiving the principal payment back to them every
Yeah.
quarter.
So
Um,
if they it's just I mean for the next one it will be it might not be an issue, but let's say again back to the same thing 100,000 he get 1% a month, uh, and he invested back principal and interest to the same account.
mhm.
Then the next month, for him or looking at it, okay, I'm getting interest. My principal is going up, which is good, but he might not have a clear picture of how much reinvestment going to that his account,
Yeah.
right? So if we need to create that also, it will create a little bit more mess inside because we need to see how much we invested, then the calculation might be a little bit uh, more calculation needed.
Yeah, we need yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's getting more a little bit more complicated if we are doing all
Yeah,
manually and they know how much reinvested and you're giving them in an Excel sheet or okay, this much reinvested, this is more. I mean the
yeah,
same Excel sheet maybe we can put somewhere in the account and they can see the reinvestment part. And here they will just look at the summary. Okay, this is my principal, this is my interest I earn.
Yeah, well, here, so this is why with the individual accounts, we don't offer that really.
Yeah.
Like we offer it every quarter, like, hey, you want to reinvest this
Mhm.
with us? The reason being is they're the sole owners of each one of these accounts.
Yeah,
So their principal balance needs to be, or their reinvestment needs to be at an amount that's equal to outstanding loan.
sure.
So they're buying it. So it won't really matter for these because we'll have to put in a new account for them anyways, and we'll do it all internally.
Okay,
And it'll be one of their portfolios. So
okay,
we don't really need to display that. And we don't need to keep track of those transactions because that money is getting paid to them and then they're paying it back to us and we're
okay.
recording all that.
And it will
So
be a new account.
exactly.
Okay, then
Um,
that's fine.
yeah, and then with the MFS main, we're reinvesting the principal into new accounts without them. The only thing that they're receiving is their interest payment.
Yeah,
So we don't have to show what we're doing with the principal, just show what accounts are in the MFS main.
okay,
Yeah, so if they're in MFS main, they should have like their personal summary. Should
Mhm.
also include what their interest that they're receiving from MFS main, which will be based off of what they invested. And if we can put that in with variables, like they're getting this 10% every month or 10% annually
Mhm.
paid out monthly. Yeah.
Okay,
And uh we can do uh it'll be yeah, like a 3-part function.
mhm.
So
So the other good way will be like, I think we are today we were not able to see. We are getting all the data dumped to our database,
okay.
and those are the thing we are talking about. Is like it's just a different type of report we will create,
Mhm.
and when somebody log in, what they need to see, right? So I think the conclusion, basic idea is when somebody, let's say I'm an investor, individual, I'm investing in one property. When I log in, I'll just see the summary directly on the first page. Okay, these are the fees. These
Yep.
are the interest I'm getting or got. Maybe there's a two, like the total interest they already get paid, and the next payment, how much I'm getting paid in the next quarter,
Yep.
and the principal amount, right? And if I wanted to go more deeper, then I can say, okay, filter by date, I want to see. But again, that's as an investor, I don't care if they're paying or not. As long as they're paying on time, I'm getting my money. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't need to know when they paid or how much they paid,
Yeah.
right? So, as an investor, when I look at my dashboard, it's like, okay, I'm getting paid this much. My principal is this much. I'm, looking into next property to invest.
Yep. Exactly.
And so that might not be very complicated, but the one or two report might be complicated. But for the individual property owners, individual investor, I think it is straightforward. They want to see all date range, they can see it. If they don't want to see, they don't need to see it. The summary page is there to log in and see every time they log in, they just see the summary page.
Yep.
That's easy enough for them. Only complication come up, a little bit more complicated will be the MFS main because they will have a lot more information about their investment because even I invested 10,000 only and MFS main has 20 properties in the MFS main. I'll have access to all the payment details of the 10 properties.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
And
And the MFS main,
yeah,
I think that all that information should still be in just the filter options
yeah,
only. And
yeah,
what we should be displaying from MFS main on the dashboard should just be the interest that they're also getting. And maybe it's a separate column that says interest from MFS main.
yeah,
And then that'll be, whatever percentage
yeah,
or whatever amount that they've invested into it.
yeah. Yeah, so same thing like a summary, principal they invested, or even I was I don't know, this is like principal, they invested, let's say 10,000 and the principal remained 2,000 and the interest paid and principal paid.
Mm.
I don't know, yeah, that's like, okay, I invested 10,000, I got all my, interest 9,000 got back, principal 8,000 got back, I have 2,000 left, and this much interest I'm getting next month.
Mm.
And maybe even like, no, this one doesn't work on this one. Like how many payments left, because the MFF main will not have an exact amount of, the paid in, right?
Yeah,
Because
it
every
needs.
property has a different
Mhm.
due date or different paid off date.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, so it'll be based and it changes every payment
yeah,
too.
okay.
So I'll send over for the summary what the line items should be or what I think
Yeah.
they should be.
So
And
if
I'll
you
send.
have, see, what I was thinking, if you have like a Excel sheet of what you're preparing, so that
Mhm.
we'll have an idea, like, okay, this on this report, this many column we need to see.
Okay.
I think there is an option. Let me see if I have this one option or not. I didn't open it here. Okay, maybe Jagdish can share, because there is an option saying, okay, what column you want to see.
Mhm.
And the customer, the investor can just choose, okay, I just want to see, my customer and address and the payment. They
Yeah.
can choose the column, which column he or she wants to see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we do this real quick? I apologize. I still have my stomach bug, so I have to run to the bathroom real quick. And
Yeah.
then can we hop back on at 10 if you guys have time?
Yeah. I mean, like this, these are the columns they can select and which one they want to see,
Okay. Just
or
give
all
me
the
give me
columns.
1 second.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Take your time. Yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah. No problem. Okay, so the data is not pulling. Is that the database login
Actually,
issue?
no, actually the problem is we got timeout issue, timeout error.
Oh,
While doing fetch all, we need more than 7 minutes. We are trying to
Okay.
fetch all the data from we got all the data, but I think there is some things remaining to fetch. We got all the data for loans here. It was empty in before, and we didn't get the data for loan transactions. We got the data. Oh, no, we didn't get that set up also.
So for the demo purpose, I think the one thing you can do is like you can just sync whatever data you have in your local system and push it over here.
yeah.
No,
So
I haven't tried it in local as well.
okay.
I just got demo from our other developers,
Mm-hmm.
so it was working there. Uh,
And also
but
like if it's taking 7 minutes, we need to plan like how we can optimize it because it will be getting timeout every time. So we can just
yeah,
either we need to have like a kind of create sub process every time when they do something, or we need to plan. We can plan that on later on.
yeah,
Yeah.
we need to plan on that. We can fetch from like chunks. We also have like fetch separately, like fetch loans first and get the relation from loans and portfolios. We can do it separately, like step by
So what,
step.
my quick question would be like, uh, when we were saying like it will take 7 minutes to download everything, will it be one time only, or we might need to do it every now and then?
No, it's always that I think it's always taking that time
Like for
because
example,
it
for
checks
example,
it check,
mm-hmm. Go on.
yeah. The solution might be like last time we talked.
Mm-hmm.
What was last updated, and we can look it from there only.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That will be the possible solution there.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
but right now it's checking in all the records, so it's taking much time, I think.
I think I think our approach of retrieving everything every time will get us blacklisted on non-pro because they won't be willing to share everything every day. I just feel like we will get blacklisted that way. So
Yeah.
yeah, we might need to go the other route where we'll like have a timestamp when we last requested the update.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be getting whatever we have added after that. That might be a best approach, I think.
Mm.
Okay, we can
Sorry.
do that.
Ugh. Still sick.
Yeah.
Ugh. Apologize.
Actually, question we were talking about, we built this picture like we have a lot of columns here, like
Okay.
what you have shared with us. We did
Okay.
it accordingly. All the columns, all the sorry, yeah, all the columns we got here, but it's not user friendly. Like we cannot see everything in the same page at once, even
Okay.
if we hide that. So we build this like we can select if we want the account or not. If we don't want account, we can hide it from this the table. Like we
Okay.
don't want primary customer, we don't like property. Uh, we will just show what the user wants. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Uh,
Okay.
if if
Okay.
if, uh, if that's help if that helps uh, or not.
Yeah, I think that uh yeah, being able to filter it is great. Uh Probably the address. Let me do this. I'll send a list of what I think that the presets for this should be. I think they should still have an option to see them all or select them if they want to. But what the pre-select should be.
Yeah, that would be really helpful.
Yeah, if there's a pre-selected, let's say, 5 column we want to see, and if they want to see more columns, they can go through that option to select.
Yeah, that's that. And yeah, we will try to implement that filter you were talking about in and stored in Loan Pro.
Okay.
We will be implementing that, and also we were also talking about this timeout issue, where we are trying to get all the data from Loan Pro. So we got this, we hit this error, timeout error in the server.
Okay.
So we might have to plan a little bit differently next time
Okay.
to get all the data. We got much data, but we didn't get all, and uh, we got the error, so it stopped in the middle. That's why we are not getting this data right now. So
Okay.
if we solve this timeout error, we will be getting that data, and I will update you accordingly.
Okay. Perfect. Sounds great. I'll send over uh the pre-selects for this table. The line items for the summary table. And also send over login info or login access to Utsav, do you want login access to our WordPress as well?
Yeah, that will be really helpful to look
Okay.
into.
To you and Jagdish. And then I think I already said the token for the login.
Yeah, I missed that in the beginning. What was that WordPress site for again?
So we rebuilt our website. It's currently being hosted on a Weebly platform, but our hosting is done through, and all of our email and everything is done through Google. Weebly just sold it to us as like a third party um vendor of it. So I was asking to see if you could help me migrate it to just a Google host with our new WordPress website. And I really need help because I don't know how to migrate without losing all of our files in our current Google or our current G Suite for like Drive and stuff. We have a lot of files in there that we use as our backup system that I would really like to keep and not lose any of them. So I was going to see if I could get help from you guys in migrating it over the URL to just that. So it might need to be something that I do myself, but I didn't know if you guys had experience in it or not.
Is that the WordPress website?
So
Can you put in a chat or you can share it?
yeah,
I'm
here
looking
I
at the
have.
movie.
I'll put it in the chat too. So this is the new site we built, WordPress.
Okay.
So with the token, there's gonna be, so investors, this would be the page that the site that you guys are building
Mm-hmm.
would go to. And then there's gonna be another tab that'll be login, or the login might just be on the home page
Sure.
in the top right corner. And Loan Pro has like a token that will have like, username and password and login
Mm-hmm.
that will redirect to their site. And right now we have an ugly middle page. So for the sign in, it redirects to this, which we're trying to avoid because we can't edit this at all and it looks super ugly. And then yeah, they would log in, and that's the token.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to the that will log in to Loan Pro or the
So for example,
VPay.
no, this is a separate one.
Okay.
So this is one of our demo accounts. This is what the borrower sees when they log in.
Okay.
And yeah, so they're able to make payments here and everything.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the goal of recreating this new website is we're going to do more search engine optimization, and it's on a new platform that we can edit a little bit more. Right now we have it, it's super basic.
Yeah.
So
So you want to transfer this website?
yeah, so my hope is that, so Weebly is using Google to host us, but we're paid third party.
Yeah.
So I think that I'll probably need to contact Google support and have them help me do the process, but I didn't know if you guys had experience with it. But taking the third party Weebly out of the equation, just doing Google hosting for the URL,
Yeah.
and keep our emails the same, keep our Google Drive the same, and then have this website display it on that URL. Mobile fund services, and then I also have loan for mobile home, which both direct to our current site, but I want it to be this site instead.
So you're saying this one has a lot of files connected in Google Drive?
The other one does. But I have it set up so I can access my users and everything for the email through Google Admin. I just paid for it when I initially started it with Weebly. So I pay
Oh,
Weebly and
okay.
then Weebly pays Google.
Okay. Got it. So the service is still with the Google,
Mhm.
but there is a third party.
Yep.
Okay. So that means, yeah, I don't know, maybe Google might be able to help.
Yeah,
That's
I'll
good.
contact Google this week and see what they say. I just didn't know if you guys had experience with it and like knew what to do, but I can figure it out too. So
If it's I mean, WordPress website, there is a tool that we can get everything from website and move to the new host. Uh, I did a couple of them before moving the host. If it's a
okay.
WordPress website, and of course, I think the Google email uh, with are you using, let's say, mobile phone services, let's say test at mobilehomeservices.com, but you use the Google to log in. Similarly, like our MySam's housing, we use email hosting through Google,
Okay.
but the website is in a different host, right? So uh, we will have all the information, I mean, all the documents from Google Drive because it's a Google. I mean, we are hosting email through Google. But now you have Weebly on the middle. So how to get it on Weebly and go directly to Google? That's the issue we are having.
Yep, exactly.
Um, it should be easy, because I had one time before, like when we buy email, it looks easy. Let's say GoDaddy sell the Microsoft email,
Hmm.
and I think later on we hosted our own Microsoft site and we moved that email, but I need to see what process we have done. But I think Google will definitely help out.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let me just see this real quick.
Is that only email you are taking from Google or anything else?
Everything else. So we have the Drive, Google Drive as our storage, cloud
Mhm.
storage.
About 50 gig, right?
G Shoot, right?
Yeah, just should.
Yeah.
There's everything is same. Only thing is like Weebly is in the middle. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're taking their cut because I set this website up so long ago and
Yeah.
did it in a way that I shouldn't have. But where are okay. So right now, all I have set up in admin is this one.
Mm-hmm.
I bought this one separate, so our emails are set up on this, and so is um our drive. So mobilefundservices.com is the primary domain for the weekly service.
For the Weebly?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I can get you guys access to Weebly too, but oh, Weebly.
So, yeah. It's,
Yeah. So this one's just mobile fund services.
if you remove here, let's say if you cancel everything here,
Mhm.
you are just worried that the Google Drive will not be available?
I I think it's gonna be fine
Yeah.
because it's Learn from Home is separate.
The other thing, I think the way is like we can, you can download all the Google Drive in your computer,
Mhm.
right? You can install a Google Drive and just dump all the data there. And
Okay.
if you taken out all the domain from here and re-register in Google, it should be able to without issue, I think, but I haven't done it yet.
Okay.
What I have done is there's a one for like one of the guy who has like everything in a Google, and the website he did a free in a Google, but it was not working correctly, so I removed that and I moved that to the different hosting. But the Google account is still there.
Yeah, and the loan for mobile home is still active
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
I think you can definitely move the like this one you bought it with the Weebly or you bought it somewhere, the domain name.
I think both of them I bought through GoDaddy and then I migrated them.
Oh, okay. So the other thing you can do, the easy test, I think, is you can move back this domain to GoDaddy. And this one, we don't cancel like right away, Weebly. Just point this domain to GoDaddy or GoDaddy point here instead of like moving whole thing here.
Mhm.
And then after you move this domain to GoDaddy back or Google,
Mhm.
then you cancel it here and get all the the website from there. But the one issue is the one website you created there might not be able to copy because they have their own like a front end development site.
Mhm.
So you can just get all the information and create another website in a Google itself.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think that since we have two separate URLs,
Yeah.
maybe we test the new site using loan for mobile home,
Mm-hmm.
and then we keep the mobile fund services one up on Weebly for now because we need them to be able to access and log in.
Yeah.
And we'll try that whole process with loan for mobile home first.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, we'll migrate over. Once we have the website all tuned and everything,
Yeah.
we'll migrate over mobile fund services to that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll call Google support and see what they say as far as migrate. They might just be like, oh yeah, screw Weebly, we got you.
Yeah.
We'll take you off of that. You sign a new agreement with us,
Contract.
and we'll
Yeah.
do all of it for you. And hopefully that's the case. But we'll see.
Okay.
I can't drop that other website because people use it for logging in,
Yeah.
make payments. So I have to
Okay.
keep at least one site active until we get the other one up.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much. Sorry.